When mentioning the duo Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson, the public immediately remembers the special bond forged from the hit series. But few people know that, behind the halo of the screen is a secret, emotional story, that has made many fans cry when hearing it. Sparkles a fateful moment. During a tense filming session, the director asked both of them to perform an emotional scene. Not just physical contact, but also a deep spiritual connection. When the camera lights turned on, both Jamie and Dakota were suddenly drawn into another world. Their eyes met, their hearts were in sync. Every gesture became so real that the crew behind had to fall silent. Many members of the film crew later admitted, that moment was no longer acting. It was the truth, a story beyond the framework of the script. Love letter, uncontrollable tears. When the scene ended, Dakota was silent, her eyes filled with tears. Jamie, who was strong, could not hide her emotions. Without any explanation, the audience could feel that there was an invisible thread between them, a thing that went beyond the boundaries of work. Fans who witnessed this scene on screen shared, "I cried, I don't know why, I just know that the feelings they shared were so real. I have never seen Dakota and Jamie so sincere." Rose a secret that doesn't need to be named. Although both of them always affirm that they are just close colleagues, that thing, the moment when two souls intersect, has become an unforgettable memory in the hearts of fans. It doesn't need to be defined, because just witnessing it is enough to make the heart tremble. Perhaps, sometimes in life, that thing is not something that is written in a script or planned in advance. It is simply a moment so genuine that it makes millions of hearts shed tears. Milky Way after that moment, a silence that is hard to name. Since that fateful scene ended, both Jamie and Dakota chose to be silent. They did not discuss it further, did not mention it again, but the change was clear. The eyes they gave each other were no longer the same as before, every smile, every touch became heavier and deeper. Sometimes in interviews, when asked about emotional scenes, Dakota just smiled softly, avoiding the answer. Jamie was silent, his eyes flashed with confusion. It was this silence that made fans believe that behind the lens was a story that could not be told in words. Wilted flower, the price of truth. Although they were together on screen, in real life, they both had their own lives, their own relationships. And that was the reason why that thing made fans cry. It is not only a momentary burst of emotion, but also a struggle between responsibility and desire, between reality and desire. Fans sympathize with Dakota, the girl who always smiles gently but her eyes contain fragility. They also sympathize with Jamie, a strong man but sometimes hides his true feelings. Heartbreak and unfinished love left in the hearts of fans. Perhaps the two will never make it public, nor will they ever admit it. But that doesn't matter, because that thing has become a sweet mark in the hearts of fans, something that time cannot erase. Fans often repeat, "That was the moment I realized, true feelings can transcend the screen." Jamie and Dakota brought an incomplete, but also the most beautiful love I have ever seen. And so, that thing not only made a mark for a silver screen couple, but also left a sad chapter that made millions of people cry. Crescent moon encounters in the dark. Despite trying to keep their distance, Jamie and Dakota still couldn't stop their hearts from reaching out to each other. Once, after a long day of filming that lasted until late at night, the two unexpectedly met in a corner of an empty stage. Without a word, they just silently looked at each other, and Dakota's tears fell as soon as Jamie took her hand. At that moment, people said that the two souls had truly found each other, but only for a brief moment, because soon after, they were forced to turn their backs, carrying hidden pain. Dove unsent letters. It is rumored that Dakota once wrote emotional diary entries about her feelings for Jamie, but never dared to give them. Meanwhile, Jamie chose to turn his longing into silence, only keeping it in his sad, distant eyes every time he looked at her. Fans, upon hearing about the never-sent letters, couldn't hold back their tears. They understand that sometimes love does not need to end with attachment, but just needs to be a beautiful wound in memory. Heartbreak, a quiet but immortal love. As time goes by, both continue their separate paths. Jamie is busy with family and career. Dakota seeks her own happiness. But every time the two names appear together, the audience still cannot help but remember that thing. A quiet, incomplete love story, but so beautiful that it makes people cry. A fan wrote on social media, "They don't need to be together to prove their love. It's that unfinishedness that makes us feel the power of true emotions." And so, that thing of Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson still lives forever. Not in reality, but in the hearts of millions of viewers around the world. Cloud with Rain, a fateful reunion after many years. Over the years, Jamie and Dakota hardly had the chance to work together. They were busy with their own lives, new roles, and other relationships. However, fate still teased them. An international film award ceremony accidentally brought them together on the same stage. When Dakota stepped onto the podium, her eyes met Jamie sitting in the audience. It was only a few short seconds, but the whole audience seemed to fall silent. Dakota's smile trembled slightly, and Jamie unconsciously clenched his hands, as if to suppress his emotions. Sparkles, a whisper that no one could hear. After the ceremony, the backstage suddenly became the place to witness a rare moment. Dakota approached and whispered, "Are you okay?" Jamie looked at her, her eyes filled with sadness, then replied, "I am fine. I just miss you." No one but them heard that conversation, but it seemed like the whole world could feel from their eyes, love that never faded. Rose, the last tear. When Dakota turned away, people said that Jamie looked at her for a long time, until her figure disappeared. And at that moment, a tear silently fell, the tear of an unnamed love, a thing that both of them would carry with them for the rest of their lives. The audience, after witnessing this reunion through the media lens, was in an uproar. After so many years, the look they gave each other has not changed. This is no longer a movie, this is true love, even if it is unfinished. Dove, an immortal love story. Maybe they will never belong to each other. But it was that unfinished business that turned the story between Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson into an immortal love story in the hearts of fans. Love so beautiful that anyone who recalls it cannot hold back their tears. New moon, the distance that never fills. After that fateful reunion, rumors began to spread everywhere. The press and media kept asking, "Is there anything between Jamie and Dakota that hasn't been said?" But both of them, like a secret promise, chose to remain silent. In an interview, when asked about Jamie, Dakota just smiled, his eyes sparkling as if he wanted to say something but then held back. Jamie was the same. Every time Dakota was mentioned, he paused for a moment, then answered with safe words. However, that silence made the audience believe even more that between them there was a secret that would never be named. Wilted flower, love in memory. Someone recounted that, at a private party in Hollywood, Jamie stood still, looking at Dakota from afar. They didn't talk, didn't get close, just their eyes met for a few seconds. But in that look, there was enough love, regret, and letting go. Dakota then left first, leaving an empty space in Jamie's heart. He held his glass of wine, sighing softly, as if he would never have another chance to name his true feelings in this life. Heartbreak, when love turns into a beautiful obsession. Fans painfully realized that thing between Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson never ended. It did not go completely, nor did it have a clear farewell. It just quietly existed, like a sweet scar that both of them carried for life. A fan wrote on the forum, "Unfinished love is the love that makes us remember forever. And Jamie, Dakota is living proof of that. Rose forever only in the heart." The world can change, they can go different paths, but that thing, the story of a love that has not yet been named, is always the most beautiful, saddest chapter in the journey of both. And perhaps, in the end, what makes fans cry is not because they can't be together, but because they once loved, in the most genuine way.